This shocked and stunned the media, who were told that he would not be testifying. The wolf has been accused of killing and eating the first and second little pig. This trial is set to be followed by a civil trial held by the surviving third little pig. We now take you to the scene where the wolf gives his testimony. Everyone knows the story of the three little pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you all in on a little secret. No one knows the real story, because no one has ever heard my side of the story. I am Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little things like rabbits and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If people thought cheeseburgers were cute, people would think you were big and bad too. But like I said, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Now, way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny's birthday. I had a terrible sneezing cold that day, and I had just run out of sugar. So I went to my neighbor's house to, maybe borrow a little cupful. Now, this neighbor was a pig. And he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build his house out of straw? So of course, the moment I knocked on the door, it fell right in. It seemed rude to just barge into someone's house uninvited, so I called in. Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig! Are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without that cup of sugar. That is when my nose started to itch. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And there, right in the middle of the pile, was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. Now, it seemed a waste to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the dirt. So I ate it up. Think of it as a rack of ribs lying there just for me. My cold was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to his neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He seemed to be a little smarter, but not by much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell. No answer. So I called in. Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig! Are you in? And from behind the walls, I heard, "Go away, Wolf! Don't bother me again! I'm shaving the hairs of my chin. I was just about to go home again when my sneeze came back. I huffed and I stopped and I tried to cover my mouth. But I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe this, but this fellow's house fell down, just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's on him. Now, as I've said, it seems a shame to leave a hand in just laying there, out in the open. So, I did the only thing that there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was feeling a little full, but my cold was getting better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to his neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the door. No answer. So I called him. Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig! Are you in? And out from the door popped his face. His big, hairy face. Yeah? What you want? And I asked him politely, I don't mean to intrude, but would you be so kind as to spare me a cup of sugar for my granny's birthday cake, please? And do you know what that rude little porker said to me? Go away, Wolf, and don't come back. How rude. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar in there, and it wouldn't spare even one cupful for my dear old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home when my cold started to act up again. I huffed, and I stuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And nothing happened. Nothing. I was just about to turn and go home when his face popped out again. And he yelled, "And your old granny can go sit on a pig." I'm usually a pretty calm fellow. But when someone talks about granny like that, I go a little crazy. So, of course, when the police came, there I was, beating on the door, huffing and snuffing and sneezing and making a real scene. Face puffed red. And the rest, as they say, is history. Now, when the media found out about my little predicament, they figured a sick wolf going to someone's house to get a cup of sugar for his granny's birthday cake didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed it up with all that huff and puff and blow your house in. And they made me the big bad wolf. So that's it. The real story. I was free. Maybe you all could loan me a cup of sugar.